Billionaire Bitcoin whale wallets that been holding Bitcoin for over 14 years are waking up. So far they have moved over $7.6 billion worth of Bitcoin. Are these whales preparing to sell Bitcoin? Let's analyze.
My crypto paradise.
Hello ladies and gentlemen of the Paradise Club, this is Simon from My Crypto Paradise. Happy weekend everybody. This is the last video of this week, and in the previous video I've told you that Bitcoin is trading inside of this leading diagonal, and within the leading diagonal we are formating a secret pattern that is called rising wedge, aka contracting triangle. And because we have been able to successfully recognize this pattern, I have told you that with the highest probability we will right now start crashing and creating this D wave. As you can see, that's exactly what happened. Bitcoin crashed by around 2%, and ladies and gentlemen, right now the question is, what's about to happen next? Something is cooking in this chart, I can tell you, and we will go back to it. But first of all, I want to share with you some insider data. As you know from our website, we are analyzing the fear and greed index, and as you can see, we have jumped from 40 to around 60. So the sentiment around retail about Bitcoin is right now improving, right? However, take a look at the price action. The level of fear and greed improved from 40 to around 60, but the price action didn't improve at all. Take a look at that. We have made around $200 movement. That's basically nothing. The improvement of the sentiment is suggesting that the sentiment is getting much more greedier than the price action suggests. So I'm asking you, where is the buying liquidity? Well, the buying liquidity is being absorbed. How do I know that? Because I'm watching the footprint data. And as you can see, I'm seeing right here buying imbalances, and I'm seeing buying imbalances right here. So there is buying imbalances, but the price action is not moving. The price action is not moving to the upside, it's consolidating, right? And indeed, it's consolidating below an important resistance level that I will be talking about in the minute. So this suggests that the whales are absorbing the buying liquidity that the retail is right now pushing into the market in the hopes of making new all-time high. And that also explains the trading sentiment that I will be talking about in a minute. But this mostly explains the funding trades, that even though we have got some deleveraging during the weekend, because in the previous video I've told you, look at that, it's all red. That means there are so much long positions, ladies and gentlemen, they are vulnerable to getting squeezed, and they indeed did, right? But this movement was small, it's not enough. There are still lots of long positions, more than short positions right now in the market, and they are still vulnerable to getting squeezed. So this price action of Bitcoin didn't scare the retail. As you can see, they are still keeping their over leveraged long positions, and it might not end well for them. But take a look at the trading sentiment that is not focused only on Bitcoin, but this is overall crypto trading sentiment. We are going a little bit down, all right? We are decreasing the sentiment score that we are taking from Bitcoin, Reddit and Twitter a little bit, but we are still at around average. It's not in a bearish extreme, it's not in a greedy bullish extreme, all right? If we take a look, however, at the buy and sell walls that we are seeing in the market, we can see a big buy wall at around $107,500, and we can see a big sell wall at around $109,500, ladies and gentlemen. This is aggregated on futures market. If we take a look at the spot order book, we can see that the sell walls above us, the order books on the ask price are much more thick. Below us, however, we can see clearly that at the $107,000, the same way as we are having some buy walls right here on futures market, this $107,000 will be defended quite well. We also have this point of control from VPVR at around $107,000. The same way the point of control from VPVR will be right here at around $109,500. Ladies and gentlemen, the below us buy walls, however, can be just spoofing, okay? It's the tactic of the whales to manipulate the price action and the market. As you can see, these buy walls are quite new, so we are monitoring with the ParadiseTeam the price action very carefully, and once we see that this is just a spoofing and they are ready to remove these buy walls, we will react to it strategically. But right now we are just watching out for some corrective mode wave that will take us towards a little bit higher levels, but it can be truncated, okay? this E wave is a fifth wave of our contracting triangle, aka rise and wedge pattern, and it can be truncated, so it doesn't need to exceed actually the C wave. We will be talking about that, but first of all I want to share with you some other thing that is extremely important to understand. $111,000 might be hunted. Okay, we can see from the liquidity pool perspective some short positions, stop losses, so be careful about this $111,000. As you know from our news sources, we have been having cyber highs because that $140 million that been stolen from the Brazil banks right now being laundered by the scammers on blockchain. Okay, so extremely interesting story. Definitely read it on our website mycryptoparadise.com. And right now take a look at the price section. We will start at ultra high time frame chart. Ladies and gentlemen, I will just go quickly through this because you know that I've been going very deep in the weekly time frame. So the weekly candle is closing in around 1 day 9 hours. If it's gonna close bearish, it will be bad, ladies and gentlemen. What's gonna be good for bulls is a reclaim above this resistance, but you will understand from the price section that I will be sharing with you on lower time frames that it's less likely. So the bearish divergence is here intact. We are just waiting for confirmation on the MACD line with the moving average MACD. We want to see a crossover, and that will increase the probabilities that this bearish divergence is going to be intact. However, what already got the bearish cross is the stochastic RSI, as I have already told you in the previous video. Anyway, let's zoom in into daily candle. Let's take a look what's going on, how we are fighting with this resistance that I have been sharing with you in the previous videos. As you can see, the recent daily candle closed below these two important resistance levels, so this is dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. Right now we are having a support from VPVR moving average as well. Once we start reclaiming this moving average trend line and we will transform it into a resistance, it will be bad. Right now it's playing out bearish divergence right here as well. We already have some kind of impulse from the candlestick, aggressive sellers. So what we are waiting for further confirmations is just the cross of this MACD line. Stochastic RSI already in an overbought area, ladies and gentlemen. What is bullish, however, is this RSI, as I've told you. As you can see, we can have clear bullish cross, and right now seems like a reclaim. Once we, however, start crossing this and we will start reclaiming it inside some bearish patterns, this will be very bearish, and it will confirm the overall bearish structure that we are forming right now, because we are in the middle zone on RSI and there is so much room to go to the downside, right? So this is very important to watch out right now. If we will start reclaiming back these resistance levels, and that means we will be able to cross above the previous high as well, it will be bullish and we will be looking for some long positions. However, if we take a look at the medium time frame right now, what we are seeing on Bitcoin is the leading diagonal that I have been sharing with you in the previous videos, that basically subdivides itself into 5 smaller waves. First, third and fifth waves are motive mode waves, subdivides itself into 5 smaller waves. We can confirm that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? The secondary wave is a corrective mode wave. We confirm that right here. Right here, the third wave is a motive mode wave. So basically the leading diagonal is being confirmed, right? That it's intact. Right now we are creating a fourth wave that should be in a corrective mode wave pattern, and it can be a zigzag or a triangle or some other corrective mode wave patterns. If you're educating yourself on our website mycryptoparadise.com, you know exactly what I'm talking about right here. And you know that the fourth wave is sometimes triangle, and the triangle can only appear on the places where after basically the corrective mode wave there comes a motive mode wave, right? So the only place inside of our triangle, where inside of our leading diagonal, where the fourth wave can be inside of our leading diagonal, where there can be a triangle, is the fourth wave, right? And as you can see, we are forming the contracting triangle, basically a rise and wedge pattern. And as you can see, we are having a beautiful formation that subdivides itself into 5 smaller waves. And right now we are just about to start the final fifth wave that can be truncated. Ladies and gentlemen, it can be truncated. This was our A wave, this was B wave, C wave, D wave. Each of them needs to be a corrective mode wave. That's important for confirmations. Right now with the Paradise team, we are monitoring the price section of this E wave, ladies and gentlemen. gentlemen, once we have confirmation on lower time frames like 1 hour, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, that this formation is being confirmed, that it's being done, so that means this E wave is going to be finished, and with the highest probability we will start dropping to the downside. But confirmations are needed, right? If you are very conservative, it really depends on your trading strategy. In ParadiseTeam VIP we have our trading strategies and our tactics and confirmations, but it really depends on you. But basically in professional trading you need to know what you are waiting for. So if you are being very conservative, you want to wait for a breakout, retest and proper reclaim, and this is your entry, right? And this will be the highest probability play. This will be the safest one as well. It will not give you the best entry, right? Because you don't know exactly where the retest will be, but it is definitely safe. However, you can also be playing it with some other strategies. So if you will start completing the E wave, ladies and gentlemen, we will then wait for some double top formation, and it will again increase the possibilities and create a beautiful short trade ideas. Why? Because you can place your stop loss very tightly, because the invalidation of this overall leading diagonal is just working with few Fibonacci retracement levels that I am analyzing with the ParadiseTeam, and also above these highs, right? So you definitely need to calculate with volatility. So it just doesn't mean that if we do this and we go above the previous highs, it's the game over for the leading diagonal, right? Because you know the crypto market is extremely illiquid, so these kind of wick outs, these whipsaws can happen very often. So you need to have some space for your stop loss. But if you consider the take profit that you can take, as you know, we are targeting $93,000, the risk to reward trading opportunity is extremely good. So as a long-term professional trader, you only need to take not only the highest probability trades, but also the ones that gives you the best risk to reward, okay? Because the market is being extremely highly manipulated. So in order for you to win, you need to have a great risk to reward strategy. There is no other way. So basically you need to be able to hold your position once you are winning. You need to ride the trends, and you need to be cutting the losses very quickly, okay? So $93,000, you know that loads of confluences we have there. For example, this 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level from this price action right here. Also from here we have 1.272. We have also confluences from the history price action. As you can see, it was working well as a demand zone. So $93,000 will be extremely important. As you can see, it's below the descending trend line right here. But because we have the overthrow right here above the descending trend line that worked as a resistance, from the rule of alternation, from the Elliott wave perspective, we will have underthrow here as well. So I do believe that $93,000 will be a perfect area to start taking profits. Definitely once we have confirmations, I will be able to say almost with 100% certainty that we are going towards $93,000. Ladies and gentlemen, however, if you will start seeing some big confirmations from the bull side, all right, that we will be reclaiming these resistances, we will sustain some demand zone right here, we will see some double bottom formations, bullish candlestick patterns on lower time frames, etc. We will definitely be looking for some long positions. But from the oscillator perspective, you can see that we are basically having bearish divergences. I will not be sharing that with you again just very quickly, because you know I have been sharing that with you in the previous video. As you can see, the RSI indicator is creating lower highs, the price action higher highs, the momentum of bulls is decreasing. Right now we are in a middle point, but right now we are not creating any bullish divergences. This is important to understand. Together with that, also MACD is having bearish divergence, but we are not having bullish divergence on this drop, okay? Important to understand. And we are having bearish cross already. What's important to consider is stochastic RSI, because right now we are in an oversold area. How to get rid of this is some prolonged consolidation on the price action, or a little bit push to the upside. And the push to the upside will be much more likely, even though this is not for long positions, okay? You understand from the price action and from the market structure, from the order flow, from the behind the scenes insights, we are not bulls right here. We are not looking for long positions, okay? We are playing as bears this market right now, because everything is suggests that bears will make much more money in this market, okay? And it's true. So right now we are working as bears. We are working with bearish strategies, bearish tactics. Definitely we need to wait for proper confirmations every time we make some trading decisions. But even though there is a possibility that we might start going to the upside, revisit this ascending trend line, this resistance, and complete the final E wave of our rise and wedge pattern, and only after that we will be able to start crashing. We are not playing that, okay? I'm not gonna buy as a swing trader. Maybe as a scalper we will be doing some short-term positions if we will have some solid confirmations, but as a swing trader I'm definitely not looking to trade these small movements, okay? Because I know what's going on. So basically right now there is a high probability that we might start retesting this level right here, but you know that we have big sell limit walls at around $109,500. that's also working nicely with the previous price action resistance. So basically the fifth wave might be truncated, ladies and gentlemen. The fifth wave might be truncated. It really depends on the price action we will form right now. As you know, each and every single wave inside of the rising wedge pattern, aka contracting triangle, is being made out of a corrective mode wave, all right? CCC in every triangle, either if it's skewed, if it's expanding, if it's contracting. We have contracting right now, A, B, C, D, E. We are forming that inside of a rise and wedge pattern. On our website in MCP4 University, you can learn how to properly trade these rise and wedge patterns, okay? But as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it usually has 5 waves, but the rule is that the fifth wave, the E wave, can be truncated. So this E wave will be having a formation of some corrective mode wave, either a zigzag, flat, whatever. It can be also a triangle itself, okay? So we are waiting once we see this being confirmed, some corrective mode wave formation gonna be done, and then we can say with the highest probability that yes, we are going towards $93,000. Ladies and gentlemen, I will keep you updated again on a TradingView or on here on YouTube. So definitely smash the like button. Next video will be on Tuesday. As you know, I'm recording for you every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I do hope that these videos where I'm basically analyzing everything live for you are helping you. You are getting better in trading and you are thinking about the markets a little bit more as a professional trader. I really do hope so, and I will see you next time. Cheers.